Dead, not dead, the pain and the glory. That's the subject of this video. Connie and I were preparing to go to Cairo from Israel. And in June of 1999, we were all packed. We had some things that we were giving away and other things that uh, we were putting aside for the couple that was going to come and more or less take our place. Some things we were shipping to the States, other things we were taking with us for the move to Cairo. And while we were doing this, I received a phone call that informed us that we were being taken off the field. There were about 6 or 7 other couples besides us who were being dismissed and I guess you could say fired from our positions of ministry. Now, all of us had different ministries. We were in different life seasons, and we still had one daughter with us. Others had both or 2 or 3 of their kids. Others did not have children with them, but various places around the world, and we were brought off the field. Now, in short, they bore false witness against us. There were fabrications, there was deception behind this, and it took a long time for that to be cleared up. But in the meantime, what really happened was the death of ministry in the Middle East with our denomination, the um, the pulling away of relationships I had in several countries before I had visited at least 4 or 5 other countries and had worked with the national leaders there, had relationship with them, and those relationships were just torn away along with the ministry in those places, plus the ministry that we had, the full ministry we had in the nation of Israel. So it was death. And the way I thought about it non-biblically was just in terms of how it felt. The sort of simile was it was like we were thrown off a cliff. And when we hit the bottom, I felt around. I was alive, Connie was alive, Chris was alive. I knew my other family back in the States were alive. And so I thought, okay, we're going to make it. And instantly the Lord began to put into our hearts that He had a plan for our future. And I have to say that the pain was intense and extensive. And it manifested in different ways, especially in the 3 of us that were the most affected in that decision, Connie and myself and our daughter, Chris, who, by the way, was like 14 years old. So it was not a really good time to have this kind of a disaster happen to herself, to her family, and all that's involved with that. So we came back to the States, and we were there for basically a couple of months as we closed out our relationship, and it was sort of rude the way it all happened, and not really we're not really compensated, I think, as we should have been. But in any event, immediately our heart we kept our hearts right, did not become bitter, and we began to focus on, okay, Lord, if we are called to Cairo, then how are we going to get there? So as we were praying, the Lord really led us to start our own mission, as it were. We had a friend who gave us like $3,000 to get a Christian lawyer to make sure we had that whole thing set up properly, legally, and in a way that we could receive donations from churches and individuals now that we were on our own to do that. And that was good. And so what about the name? What are we going to call ourselves? For years, I had taught a series in different churches where I said breakthrough in Egypt, breakthrough in Jordan, breakthrough in wherever. And with old breakthrough, that's the name. That's what we got to call it. So we formed our organization called Breakthrough. We added a designation, cross-cultural services, cross-cultural, international, taking really the message of the cross to every culture, and services, which is basically ministry of all kind, teaching, preaching, fellowship, praying, just services. The capstone to the Angeles Temple, which was our headquarters church, for many years, said, dedicated unto the cause of worldwide and international evangelism. That was put, I think, in January of 1923, so it's been over 100 years. That was to be the MO of our denomination, dedicated unto the cause of worldwide and interdenominational evangelism. And that's something that Connie and I restored for ourselves. And we took that as our mission, and we called it Breakthrough Cross-Cultural Services. So that was formed in August of 1999. So 24 years this month since we started our ministry by the Lord's direction, called Breakthrough, to first of all get us to Cairo, and then from all the other places that the Lord blessed us with. And I got to say that it really has been glory. It's been glorious. I understand that the real glory comes later. You know, even our light afflictions are not worthy to be compared with the glory that we shall receive when we are with the Lord at the end of time. However, I think some of that glory comes back. We get there now, and if nothing else, it's a foretaste, but it really feels good. And Connie and I and our family are just extremely happy. Words can't really express the glory that we've experienced, the blessings that we have had, just in the people that we've met over the years, and the places God has allowed us to minister, and to see His hand in how He is building His church, how the kingdom of God is being established in so many places by so many different people in so many cultures. It's amazing, and it is true glory, and we're just grateful to the Lord for allowing us to share in that. And I want to talk about that as we go forward now, because the remainder of these videos are going to be all about the ministry that the Lord allowed us to pursue and to serve others, called Breakthrough Cross-Cultural Services.